2016 has been a pretty bad year in every single way except movies, pretty much. 20 movies to be exact, which I will talk about in this video. Pretty much every single Flick Fanatics thing we've done this year since the beginning has been leading up to this video. Now, if you're wondering why this is a top 20 list and not a top 10 list or a top 5 or a top 15, whatever, it's simply because a lot of great movies came out this year. I want to talk about them. That's it, there's no other reason. Also, before we get started, I like to clear out a few things. First of all, grades do not matter. So let's say I give a movie an A+. That movie that got an A+ may be lower on the list than a movie that got an A-. That's simply because I felt that I liked the A- more. This is a biased list. This is my personal list. So yeah. Also guys, you know, I tried to see every movie I can this year, but I didn't get a chance to see sort of more of the Oscar-y type movies that came out towards the end of the year, you know, being Silence, Hacksaw Ridge, Moonlight, Manchester by the Sea, Live by Night, you know, those kinds of movies. When I do see them, if I do get a chance to see them, I will give you guys a review. Also, before we get started, I'd like to talk to you guys about some honourable mentions that didn't make it to my list. Yes, even though there are 20 movies this year, there are still honourable mentions. Those honourable mentions are Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, War Dogs, X-Men Apocalypse, Star Trek Beyond, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the top 20 movies of 2016. Starting off our list at number 20 is a movie that pretty much no one saw. I saw it pretty recently, Captain Fantastic. Yeah, you probably don't even know it exists, but this is a really funny movie, and it's a really heartfelt movie, and it's just really creative. The script is really well written, and it gives us, by far, the best performance by Viggo Mortensen since Lord of the Rings. And it also has like some really dark themes that are kind of like hidden throughout the movie, and I really like how that sort of gives the movie an extra layer, and it's just a ton of fun, guys. Please check it out if you haven't seen it. You won't be disappointed. Hunt for the Wilder People. It's directed by Taika Waititi. He also did What We Do in the Shadows, another movie that flew under the radar and it was absolutely great. He's also directing the new Thor movie, so, you know, this also gives us the best performance from Sam Neill since Jurassic Park. And like Captain Fantastic, this is a really funny movie and a really heartfelt movie with, you know, some sort of dark themes hidden here and there. And I really like this fun adventure with some great dialogue and great chemistry between the two leads. Eddie the Eagle. I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did. Yes, it is formulaic and it does sort of follow the sports movie formula in a pretty straightforward way, but it's so well crafted, and Hugh Jackman and Taron Egerton are great, and it just put like a big smile on my face after I saw it, and for that reason it's on this list. The Accountant. One of the best performances by Ben Affleck. It had amazing action choreography, a really cool story. There was also, you know, quite a few sort of plot twists and surprises, and it gave us a pretty surprising amount of humour for a movie of its type, which was a really nice, refreshing change of pace. Doctor Strange. Marvel's probably most unique movie, and I want you to remember the word unique because it will be sort of a recurring word in this video. This is by far the most sort of cool looking sort of use of special effects and sort of just CGI throughout the whole year. I was blown away by this movie. Benedict Cumberbatch was great, so was the supporting cast. The action was great, the script was great, the direction was great. This movie had just had it all, and it was just a ton of fun and a great addition to the MCU. Zootopia. This movie came out of nowhere for me. I was blown away by it. I mean, I didn't expect to like it nearly as much as I did. This is definitely one of Disney's best animated movies in the last few years. It has a great theme, great ideas, and a great message about fitting in and being who you want to be. And for that reason, it's on this list. Hell or High Water. Oh yeah! This is a great, great fun film. It's really heartfelt. It has great chemistry between Chris Pine and Ben Foster. This is by far the best performance I've seen from Chris Pine. Ben Foster, I mean, he loses himself in this role. If he doesn't get nominated for an Oscar, just he should, right? He should. But other than sort of great action and sort of, you know, good chemistry, this movie also proves to be pretty emotional. I also saw this movie a while after it came out, and a friend recommended it to me, and I just could not believe how much I enjoyed this movie and how hard this movie hit me emotionally. Kubo and the Two Strings. Nobody saw this movie. Everyone should have seen it. It's the best animated movie I've seen all year, and I might just go as far as saying this is probably going to be my favorite non-Disney, non-Pixar animated movie since Kung Fu Panda. It's a beautifully made movie. I love the blending of CGI and stop motion. It has an amazing voice cast. Guys, this is one of the most underrated movies of the year. Like I said, nobody saw this movie, and people really need to appreciate this movie because it deserves every single ounce of recognition. Deadpool. I mean, come on. You knew it was going to be on this list. Everyone did. Deadpool just proved all the naysayers wrong. It was funny. The action was amazing. Everything just came together for the most refreshing change of pace we need in a time where superhero movies are just, you know, they're getting old, let's face it, right? And Deadpool just came in. It was like, you know what? Fuck everything. I'm going to be myself. And it was great, right? It's the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. And Ryan Reynolds kills it, so does the rest of the cast. Tim Miller's direction is also absolutely impeccable, and I'm really sad to see him go. Please, Tim Miller, come work for DC. They need you. The weirdest film I saw all year, Swiss Army Man. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. If you haven't seen the movie, let me pitch it to you. In Swiss Army Man, Daniel Radcliffe plays a farting corpse that talks. I don't even know how I like this movie. Actually, I do. It's witty, it's funny, it's smart, it's well directed, the script is amazing. Daniel Radcliffe gives the best performance of his career again. Paul Dano, great as always. And even though this movie was pretty weird, it didn't take itself too seriously. It knew exactly what it was, and that's, you know, that's what makes a great movie, essentially. And just, again, nobody saw this movie because it had no superheroes or big effects or whatever. Guys, please see this movie. You're gonna like it. Or not, I don't care. Just watch it. This movie is fucking crazy, and I love it. Batman v Superman.
Why did you say that name?
Now I know what you're about to say.
These Emmys? Bullshit! Emmy? Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
But this is my list. This is my personal choice, and I'm aware of the storytelling problems that this movie has, but this makes up for it. And so does this. And so does this. Even this. And, you know, if you can't say that's amazing, then what the fuck are you doing here? Yes, you know, this movie has problems, but I feel like pretty much everything else other than the dumbass plot works very well. It's got amazing action. Ben Affleck's insane as Batman. You got Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill's great, everything just comes together. Okay, Lex Luthor's a bit ridiculous, but you know what I mean. I fucking love this movie. Deal with it. Jungle Book. This is Jon Favreau's best film, up there with Iron Man. This movie looks incredible. I know I said Doctor Strange was probably one of the best sort of technological achievements. Fuck it, this is. Jungle Book has amazing characters, amazing performances from a first-time actor who actually makes the whole movie actually feel alive. Bill Murray is perfect as the bear. Idris Elba's terrifying as the tiger. And this is definitely one of the most well-crafted and well-directed movies of the year. A movie that is directed and written by fashion designer Tom Ford. Nocturnal Animals is dripping with style. It's got amazing performances. Amy Adams is great, so is Jake Gyllenhaal as usual. The supporting cast, Michael Shannon and Aaron Taylor-Johnson. one of these guys is going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And if they don't, something is wrong with the world. Like I said, this movie is dripping with style. It has great cinematography, amazing sound design, a really good score, and it's just filled with this sense of dread, and the tension building and the suspense in this movie is off the charts. Also, I really like how Tom Ford chose to go with a more non-linear narrative, or non-linear way of telling the story. I mean, it's not non-linear, but it's kind of like, it has different layers to it. If that hadn't worked, I still would have respected it, but it did. So, you know, which is why it's on this list. Like Jungle Book, it's amazingly directed, and the attention to detail, the visual storytelling, everything just works. A foreign film that a few of you may have seen or heard about, Train to Busan is the best zombie movie I've ever seen. And it's the only movie that came out this year that got me remotely close to crying multiple times. The action is really good. The performances, although they are in Korean, so, you know, they're good. You know, the facial expressions and all, I mean, I can't understand Korean. And the fact that it's set in a train just makes for a much more self-contained movie, which I really like. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, please check it out. It is one of the best sort of foreign movies I've seen. It's just amazing. And a lot of the movies that are on my list, they're kind of like smaller movies that really flew under the radar. And it's really bad that people don't see them. You know, they're too busy watching movies like Suicide Squad and Jason Bourne and Ghostbusters fucking shit. And, you know, when they should be watching great movies like these. Train to Busan is another one that genuinely deserves to be praised and genuinely deserves recognition. Number 6 is something that most of you probably expect to be on this list, Rogue One. What I love so much about this movie is that it's dark and gritty, and yet it still retains that sense of wonder and just adventure that makes Star Wars what it is. Also, we have great characters and a really nice, diverse cast. I love Gareth Edwards' direction. Really does set this movie apart from the rest of the Star Wars saga. And of course, we have the scene. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, fuck it. Everyone's seen Rogue One. The fucking Darth Vader massacre. Fucking, you know what I mean. You loved it. I loved it. We all loved it. The world loved it. Rogue One, number 6. Fuck yeah. Okay, guys. We're now at the top 5. This is where the heavy hitters come in. Starting off the top 5 is Arrival. This movie just hit me. Amy Adams, she's definitely going to get nominated for Best Actress. This or Nocturnal Animals, I prefer her in this. She's absolutely amazing. So is Jeremy Renner, so is Forrest Whitaker. This movie is so smart. The dialogue is so well written. Denny V is continuously proving himself to be one of the best working actors in Hollywood. I cannot wait to see his work in Blade Runner 2. Arrival is the best sci-fi movie of the year by far, and it's realistic. You know, this is what people would actually do if aliens were to come. You know, you wouldn't shoot them, you would try to communicate with them, and it was definitely better than whatever the fuck this shit was. Number 4 is like the feel-good movie of the year, Sing Street. Sing Street combines like the elements from School of Rock and Boyhood. Both films by Richard Linklater. This one isn't though. The dialogue is superbly written. All the original songs are great. The classic songs are also great. It's also another smaller movie that came out this year that like 10 people saw. I only know 2 people who've seen this movie other than myself, which is insane because it's an absolutely brilliant film. You know, it's one of those movies when you finish watching it, you just come out with a big smile on your face and you just feel good about everything. And Sing Street definitely deserves more recognition. I think it got nominated for a Golden Globe, which is amazing. I did not expect that, and it deserves every single fucking piece of praise that it gets because this movie is just amazing. Like all the other smaller movies that you probably haven't seen, please check it out. It's got really good themes of brotherhood and friendship and just growing up in like a really fucking shit place. And please, give it a watch. Okay guys, top 3. These are the only 3 movies this year that I gave an A+ to. Right, number 3, Captain America Civil War. Everyone knew this was going to be on my list. I cannot stop talking about how much I love this movie. The airport scene alone puts it on this list. It takes your average superhero movie and it adds weight, it adds emotion, it adds real stakes. To Robert Downey Jr., this is his best performance as Iron Man. Chris Evans, this is his best performance as Captain America. Everyone is at their peak. It seamlessly introduces new and great characters. Black Panther, Spider-Man, fuck yeah. All the action scenes, all the stunts are perfectly filmed, perfectly choreographed. Okay, this is easily my favorite superhero movie since The Dark Knight. It would be my number one if there weren't two even better movies that came out this year. Like I said, it's been that good of a year for movies. Captain America Civil War is pretty much like the superhero movie that everyone should try and be like. You know, like if you want to make a good superhero movie, look at Civil War, look at Dark Knight, you know what I mean. I don't have a single problem with this movie, and you know, that's why it's number 3. Okay guys, number 2 and number 1, I had a really hard time deciding which one I was going to put where, and after all that, my number 2 is The Nice Guys. Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe are an amazing pair on screen. The chemistry is off the charts. Shane Black writes and directs the shit out of this movie. It's funny, the action set pieces are amazing. It's a pretty much flawless adaptation of the 70s. Like Civil War, I don't have a single problem with this movie. Ryan Gosling, I think, gives one of the best comedic performances in the last few years. Russell Crowe is also hilarious. And the girl who plays Ryan Gosling's daughter, she has probably one of the most overlooked performances of the year. She's absolutely great. And this is definitely one of the most rewatchable movies of the year. This is why The Nice Guys is number 2 on my list.
Before we go solving the crime of the century, let's deal with the rotting corpse. Run.
Okay guys, number 1. What is, in my opinion, the best movie of 2016? La La Land. I saw this movie last night, and I guess it does kind of make sense considering Damien Chazelle, the guy who directed La La Land, directed my favourite movie of 2014, Whiplash. But the thing is, I don't like musicals, I don't like sort of romance movies. What the hell happened? I don't know. This movie was so good. This movie was so much better than it could have been. This movie was so much better than it should have been. Everything about this movie is so meticulously crafted. Okay, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, the chemistry is there, off the charts. The musical numbers, they're all so good and so memorable. And Damien Chazelle is now one of my favourite directors. I genuinely hope this guy wins Best Director at the Oscars. He deserves it. The story and the messages that this movie gives are so incredibly relatable. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make a full review on this movie, and I might even make a video comparing it to Whiplash. Please, you know, keep an eye out for that when it comes out, because I will definitely make a full review for this movie. I really want to talk about it. And I feel like this sort of movie can relate to anyone who has passions and has dreams, and it's telling them to get out there and fucking follow them. And this movie is just so amazing. Everything comes together to make what is, in my opinion, the best movie of 2016. This movie reminded me why I go to the cinemas and why I genuinely love movies. And to be honest with you, no other movie this year made me feel like that, and that is why La La Land is my favourite movie of 2016. Guys, what was your favourite movie of the year? Please comment down below. Thank you so incredibly much for watching. I hope you guys have a happy new year. Thank you.